In the living room, Scrabble's a word game, but in the tournament levels, it's all about math. It's all about probability.
There's strategy, there's words, there's timing.
There's a lot more skill in the game than luck.
You're juggling so many different skills and tasks.
So this is the
All-time favorite.
Most frustrating.
Most improbable.
The most transformative.
worst play I can ever remember making.
So in this situation, this is a tournament. I'm going second in the game. I'm sitting on the rack of BKNSST blank. The crazy thing is, if he plays just the two-letter word op, like operation, I will have the bingo of stop banks right off the bat on my first turn of the game. The chance of him playing this exact word must be at least 1 in a million, probably 1 in many millions. I see Larry take 2 tiles from his rack and get ready to put the tiles on the board. So I'm sitting there and my eyes kind of widen, like, okay. So I'm just sitting there kind of waiting for him to play. Bam, down it goes. He plays op. And I just started laughing. I'm just cackling like a hyena, and I play stop banks. And he's never seen this word before. If I had just played the word normally, he probably would have challenged the word. It is a valid word. He would have lost his turn, but instead, I'm grinning like a fool. That's like maybe the most improbable thing that's ever happened to me in a game of Scrabble. Should have played the lottery that day, I guess.
So this was the 2012 National Scrabble Championship. I was playing David Gibson. Getting down to the end here, I actually had a lead of about 20 points. The tiles remaining weren't great, which was B, D, H, L, O, R, S. So what I ended up playing was Hob, H-O-B on the left side, making H-A and B-I for 31, which at face value looks like a pretty decent play. The only problem was that I completely ignored this top right part of the board and allowed him to do what we would call forking the board or opening 2 separate quadrants that I would not be able to block on my next turn. What I really needed to do in this case was play something like Blush, because it doesn't give him this chance to, open the board. He ended up playing Found, F-O-U-N-D, through it. I drew pretty terribly, made a play, and he bingoed out with, I think, Zincade or something for 140 to win by over 100, and I was just shell-shocked. And then I had to play the next 3 best players in the tournament after that, and it was all downhill from there.
So it was October of 2000. I had been playing competitively for less than 6 months. We were in Lake George, New York. My rack here was ADGLIOS, and 2 plays were on the board. So I was moving the tiles around, and they wound up in the order of GDIOLAS. And I said, gee whiz, if there's an LA on the board, I could play Gladiolas. It's a 9-letter word. I had never played a 9-letter word. I was so excited. And what we do to end our turn is we hit our clock, and as I'm hitting the clock, I said, oh no, there were 2 LAs in Gladiolas. I could have hit the triple word score and a double word score for the D, which is 2 points, and I would have scored 89 points instead of 62. All I had to do was wait and look a little further, and so it was a lesson. But for me, that was a personal milestone to make a 9-letter word.
It's one of those games where I was a reasonably new high-level player. I was playing a former national champion for the first time, David Gibson, and I had basically lost this game with 5 or 6 plays to go. I was pretty sure I was going to lose. I'd kind of given up. I was probably not bingoing, and then I randomly drew a bingo that played and ended in a C. So I played the word pathetic. There was 1 tile in the bag when I played pathetic, so I pulled it out of the bag and it was an A. So the play was that you can put an A in front of the word pathetic. You can make the word apathetic. I wasn't sure if the word that he played was a phony word or a real word, so eventually I decided to challenge, whereas if I had just played my A, then I would have won by 1 point. So now. I will actually hold a tile up above a board and just like stare at it and see, does it play in any of these squares? That was something I learned from my apathetic game.
This was the middle of the championship game back in 2000, and this game was the final game. If I win this game, I win the championship. I have a slight lead, and it's my turn. I have reasonably good tiles I can score with the M, P, and Y, and a nice collection of vowels. I'm going to score 30, 35 points on this open board. My choices were to play Mayo, and that was for the most points. But the other thing is I could use the Y for points later. For instance, I could play it next to the E and block the board later, or block it now, perhaps. Or I could have played PYA for 31 points, which also blocks. It blocks the D and an E, also very open, and also scores nearly as much as Mayo. But again, MIAO is not a very good lead. So ultimately, I thought, you know what? Given the openness of the board, I shouldn't concern myself so much with blocking that I should just consider bingoing myself. I decided that playing Mayo would give me the best chance to bingo. And then, of course, I picked up CEKS. And I don't see a bingo right away. But then I look at the end. Immediately I see Capeskin, and it puts the K on the double letter, and it gets a wonderful double word. That's 92 points, and that turned out to be the play of the game. It didn't win me the game immediately, but it gave me a huge lead. So that was very satisfying to find Capeskin. It's not a word you see every day.
2 years ago at the 2015 National Scrabble Championships, I'd made the final of the playoffs to become a national champion. It got to a point in the end of the game where I felt pretty confident I was going to win. Somehow, with the clock running down, he had just played Barf. Any scoring play at this point would probably win me the game. With the clock running down, I put a play on the board. But in the process, without realizing it, I played a fake two-letter word. I played IR. A lot of the time, I don't even need to check if the two-letter words are correct. It's so instinctive that it would be the equivalent of going to work without shoes on. He challenged, and I thought he was just desperate and trying to challenge liar. And I had to take the play off. Not only that, he had a response hooking Barf for a lot of points. And under the time pressure, I lost by 2 points. You know, it was a disaster, but the final consisted of 4 more games. I was really proud of myself because I think I played the best Scrabble from that point onwards that I've played in my entire life. Even though I lost the championship, I still realized at that moment that I could be as good as anyone out there.
Scrabble is kind of a microcosm for life in some ways. The game is so deep, I could never finish learning about it.
Basically, it makes you a little bit more wary and better at making good decisions.
A lot of my closest friends now are from Scrabble. We get together at tournaments around the country, around the world.
I still go to tournaments. I'll direct tournaments. I directed a tournament in New Orleans and the San Francisco Bay Area. It's giving back to the community that's given me everything.
My goal in Scrabble is to be recognized as the second best player in the world because I think Nigel is going to be #1 and I accept that.
Nobody likes to lose. I would always rather win, but that's not why I'm playing. It's really more about the journey than the end.